As you may have noticed, as we're going into a recession, and I suspect unemployment's going to scream. I see more people here in Arizona standing on street corners and all this saying, you know, veteran, please give me a buck or something like this. And I just can't believe they're wasting their time begging for money. And this guy was a pretty young guy standing on the corner begging. And it's not good. So we're heading back, I think, into the 1920s. Very good chance we're in the middle of a drought right now. This is a 90-year cycle in bad weather. I think it's interesting that they use those terms rather than what I grew up as. It was called network marketing. And network marketing got such a bad name over the years. Network marketing industry does a fabulous job teaching people to be entrepreneurs, because our school system teaches us to be employees, but we really do need to be more and more in sales. My poor dad, who has a PhD, he hated salesmen. And so I grew up him always speaking badly about salesmen. And his idea of success in life was get another college degree. And he died poor. And but he couldn't, because he couldn't sell. And then my rich dad, who was my best friend's father, when I got out of the Marine Corps and my poor dad wanted me to go fly for the airlines, I said, I'm done flying. He says, well, go back to school, get your PhD. I said, I'll wind up like you, poor, helpless, and desperate, PhD. So I said to my rich dad, who was my best friend's father, I said, I want to be an entrepreneur like you, because he was raising me since I was 10. And he says, well, then you better learn how to sell. And I went, and so that's when the two fathers clashed. But I had such a negative impression of selling, because my whole family hated salespeople. And so I begged my rich dad, I said, oh, please, there's got to be another way. How can I be an entrepreneur without learning how to sell? He says, you can't do it. It's the number one skill of an entrepreneur.
I wanted to learn business, and I didn't want to learn a job. So while she wants me at my desk at her beck and call, I was working in the sales department, in the production department, in the art department, learning the business of advertising. So she fired me. But I still had this this entrepreneurial bent. And so I discovered network marketing. This woman I met said, hey, there's this company and you can be a sales rep and you can make a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, tell me all about it. So I became a network marketer. And I was about 22, 23 years old. And I learned a ton. And one of the biggest things that I learned was selling. Because at that point in this company, a lot of it was about sales. And so here's what I would do. Because I had a lot of free time on my hand, I had a membership at a fitness club. So I spent a lot of time at this fitness club working out, because I could be in control of that, since right now I wasn't in control of a job. And then I found this network marketing company, skincare products, and I thought, perfect matchup. So I took my little kit and I went to the locker room of the fitness club, and I sat down there and I had free facials, and I'd give people samples and they'd order from me, and it was a perfect environment because they were in there changing their clothes. They had a little bit of time. I could talk to them, I could give them free stuff. And it was working really well until I found out I was somebody's competition, and there was apparently a store right above the gym. They had a lease. They didn't want me there selling skincare products because they sold skincare products. I'm like, no problem. There's another fitness club about 20 minutes away. So I took the bus, and every day I'd go on the bus and I'd go to this other fitness club, set up my little shop and sell my products and give them free facials. And I learned about selling. I was an entrepreneur.
So finally, out of desperation, I was begging my rich dad, and my poor dad said, I told you, get your PhD, get your master's, get your PhD, fly for the airlines. And I go, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be an employee like him. And then so finally I asked my rich dad, is there a way, what's going on? He goes, look, how's your sex life, Robert? And I said, it's terrible. He says, because you can't sell. What do you think? So with that, I was getting out of the Marine Corps station in Kaneohe, Hawaii, the Marine Corps Air Station in Hawaii. And I applied to two companies, IBM and Xerox. And IBM had a great sales training program, and Xerox had a great sales training program. When I met the IBM recruiter, He turned me off. He was so boring. And I met the Xerox sales guys, and they were drunk and yelling and screaming, having a good time. I said, I think I'm going to join Xerox. And so with that, they sent me to sales school in Leesburg, Virginia. And then they gave me a little handy dandy little briefcase and says, hit the street and cold call. That was one of the most painful experiences of my life, going around, hi, Xerox. And as I learned quite early, salesmanship begins when the customer says no. When I find people who are poor or struggling or financially in trouble, it's because they can't sell. And the thing they're most afraid of is rejection. And so they just want everybody to say yes to them and be liked and nice, but it traps people. So it's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. That's why, Donald Trump and I, the only two guys, this is before he ran for president, we're the only two guys that endorse network marketing or direct sales, what do you want to call it? We endorse it because it's the number one skill of an entrepreneur. And Trump is a pretty good salesman. And my best friend, when I met at Xerox in 1974, he just sold his business for $2 billion. And he doesn't have a college degree, but he can sell. He says, I'm a Mormon missionary. Mormon missionaries can sell. And when you think about it, so when I meet people who are poor or struggling or financially trapped in a job they hate, it's because they can't sell. So when people say network marketing is a Ponzi or pyramid scheme, they don't know what they're talking about. Corporate America is a pyramid scheme. It goes like this, and only one person can make the top. But in network marketing, it's like this. The only way you get rich is you got to bring other people up, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of room at the top, and your job is to go, boop, bring people up, and you coach them into success. Network marketing is the business of the 21st century. It's about cooperation. It's about being generous. Whereas business of the 20th century, which is corporate America, it's about greed, and it's about being, just hoarding for yourself. If you share, you lose. So we're in a completely new era today, the 21st century. And it's time for us to be more generous, not greedy like corporate America. I just created $25 million out of nothing. So they need a capitalist to step up and use debt. Number two, the reason real estate is so important is because we provide housing. And if you've ever been to a communist country like Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan and all that, you ever been to a communist house? A communist housing project? Or you've been to the projects in the Bronx or in Brooklyn? That's what happens when government provides housing. So the reason I get tax breaks, and there's two big reasons, it's an incentive from the U.S. government, the Treasury, and the Fed to say, please borrow money. When I borrow money, the U.S. government says, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I make all that cash flow, and I use appreciation, depreciation, amortization to pay no taxes. That's called basic financial education.